Hello, this video is going to be more about this particular pick, and I call it the Flame. I call it the Flame because a friend of mine at UK Locksport suggested a name, and it fits perfectly for what I want. Anyways, what I was trying to do originally was make a copy of my favorite pick, which is the Bogota. This one is the Dangerfield Serenity Kit Bogota, which is the same as the Mad Bob Bogota, which is probably the same as the original Bogota, but it's thin. This one is thin and works well on an amazing amount of locks. So I was trying to make a copy out of windshield wiper blade inserts, trying to make a copy of the pick, and the humps weren't coming out right on my attempt. The middle hump here. Let's see if I can get that focused right. The middle hump wasn't coming out right, and I don't know how I had the thing oriented. I think my peaks were wrong. Like on the bottom of a Bogota, you want a more of a swervy thing, and I had the peaks wrong. Anyways, I went to the grinder and I started trying to reshape this third peak right here, and I screwed that up too. And rather than throw the pick away, I tried to salvage it. If you look, it's actually, the operating area is actually shorter, I think, than a Bogota. Anyways, to make a long story short, I wound up with this pick, and I used a different kind of handle, and then I watched Wizwazzle's video on how to make some quick handles out of, he used like marine heat shrink tubing, which has adhesive in it. I didn't have any of that, but I just have some super glue. So I super glued the handles on there, which were just other pieces of the exact same stuff that we're using, the same width. It makes the pick a lot more sturdy. You don't have a problem when you're using it as a zipping tool of the handle backing out, which I did have on the original. I don't know if I got the original hiding around the original handle. But anyways, I want to show you how it works on, I just have 3 standard locks here, master locks. I could use a bunch of different locks. I've opened up 17 of my locks with this. Yeah, drop everything, why don't you? I opened up 17 of locks. Oh, this is the copy, which I'm trying to make, which is another thing. I'm trying to make a copy of this pick, and that is not as easy to do as it looks. This one's by no means finished. I've got the shape pretty close. But, yeah, making copies isn't easy. Another thing I noticed when I was using this material, it's pretty rigid up and down. But if you bend it sideways, well, like when I was scoring it to break this, on a lot of metal you have to cut through it. Maybe I'm going against the grain in it. That's why it's so easy. But I cut and I bend and this thing just snaps. I don't know if you can see the... Oh, my camera's not going to focus. Anyways, it's not cut through, it's more snap through, which worries me because besides up and down force when you're using a pick, you can incorrectly sometimes use too much side force, and if a pick gets like a nick on it, perhaps it'll fracture and break then. Anyways, the way around that is you're just using windshield wiper blade stuff, and if you made this one, you can make another one, especially if you made a copy, or you can sit there and... I lost my train of thought. I'm saying that I'm taking too long on this video talking about opening locks with it, not even showing opening locks with it. This lock right here is not easy. It kind of crunches around. It's an easy lock to open when you figure it out. I had been using this top part of the flame to try to open this lock, and I wasn't having a whole lot of success, and I was zipping it, and then I turned it around, and it opened it. Now, maybe I'd set the pins already doing something, and of course we're on camera, and none of this is going to work on camera. So I'll set you there since you're trying to humiliate everybody. And we'll go to this one. This is apparently is going to be a long video, but that's the way things go. Like I said, it's not really, and I don't think that I've come across anything special. I'm sure somebody had looked at a Bogota and said, why don't we just cut out the middle peak? See, that was kind of a rocking thing. This thing does pretty good on a single pin picking method also, where this bottom hump is kind of like a fulcrum on it. I hope this is all in focus because I haven't been looking at the camera. I'm trying to demonstrate this thing. This is usually a fairly easy lock to open up. I don't know why it's misbehaving. I want to lock these all up after this and demonstrate how easy they are to open up with a Bogota. Alright, you're the last one and you're the biggest one, but you certainly aren't the toughest one because you're pretty easy to lock open. I've opened you up in like 18 seconds with a Bogota, less than 18 seconds. Of course, I'm not staging this or anything, other than I pulled all my picks out. My only preparation was I dropped them all on the floor and I had to prepare by getting them back. One other thing I wanted to mention is the Octopus has a bigger amplitude on their peaks, and sometimes they work on locks, but sometimes because it's so big, it's hard to even get it into a lock. This is an easy lock to open. I don't know why it's showing off for the camera. Anyways, I just wanted to give everyone an update. This is the progress I've got through. I don't want to leave you here unopened and act like you're tough and all that. Ooh, what lock was that? It's Master Lock number 5. It's normally pretty easy to open. It's been kind of crunchy and sticky lately. It's a new lock, and it does need some graphite in it. I'm not going to hit it with WD-40 yet. See there? It will open. And that was using a Bogota. So I haven't opened it with the I have opened it with a flame. I haven't opened it up on camera on this session with the flame, but you get the idea. And this is a Bogota. Usually this one opens up pretty easily too. But because I'm trying not to make it a decade-long video that will take 200 years to upload with my connection. Alright, quit demonstrating a Bogota. People have seen a Bogota, and it's just more of how inefficient you are as a picker than that a Bogota works on these locks. Everybody knows that. Anyways, I can't seem to stop. I had to pick that one, and now look at that. I'll close the other ones. See? It's an addiction. Can't stop. Anyways, I just wanted to demonstrate that the locks that this flame opens, a Bogota, demonstrating poorly that a Bogota will open these locks up just as easily. It's not always the pick, it's the person. Now the Bogota has an advantage of these humps, I think, that it's able to actuate on things, and the flame, which is trying to hide right now, does a similar thing with its first hump, and you can turn it over. Plus, besides doing rocking, I tend to I've done a lot of locks like that, zipping. Then you can also kind of single pin pick, where you get up there, and especially if you've only got 4 pins, you get up there and you start manipulating, just like a hook. And this other, if this thing does get in the way, it tends to set those first pins, which are usually set high on most keyings I've seen. They start off with the first key kind of set high, and then they go down low. Anyways, if that's a problem, you just switch it over, and now you've got a low, but it's actuating more on the middle ones. So I don't know, you can kind of manipulate it back and forth. Anywho, it's going to wind up overseas, and it'll work on European locks and stuff like that. Admittedly, these are just padlocks. But there you go. Sorry to waste 10 minutes of your life, but hey, you wasted 10 minutes on other things.